to Smashing the Party. This is your host, Nate Baumberger.
Welcome to Smashing the Party. Hopefully I got everything on. Let me just double check. I've got Instagram on. Looks like that's going fine. And I just want to make sure this one's going. All right. Welcome, folks. Tonight, I've got a special Smashing the Party, special nightcap for you, based off of the influx of comments about my emotional, vulnerable live. I'm going to address that. Apparently, I'm soft, and that's okay. I'm going to explain why I'm always hard. We'll get into that. Double entendre intended. But first, I want to make an announcement of who I'm going to vote for. And I want it to be clear, I'm not going to vote for Biden. And that's the first news stopper. I'm not voting for Joe Biden. And then you're probably thinking, well, I'm going to vote for Trump. I'm not going to vote for Trump either. And my reasoning is who I'm going to vote for is based off of what I see and what I'm observing. And it appears to me that this administration has been putting a lot of money into this candidate. And quite frankly, I didn't even recognize this candidate until recently. I've stated before, I don't watch. But in this case, the person I'm going to be voting for is Joe Biden's forehead. And I'm not being funny, but I turned on the TV and I was like, what the fuck? I haven't watched Joe Biden. I swear on my life I turn it off. I read politics. I read news. Don't watch the moving pictures. I feel like they get me triggered nonstop, get on the roller coaster ride. By the way, I know all you folks are waiting to hear me talk about the Trump conviction. We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. Both y'all going to hate me on that one too. So since we're all vulnerable and sensitive yesterday, we're going to be nasty and make everyone pissed off. And make sure they remember who the fuck they're dealing with. On a serious note, I turn on the TV and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing to this guy's head? Why is it apparent to me? I'm getting a forehead. I'm getting older. As you notice, the last couple days, I didn't have my hat on. You know, you feel the sun. You know, I don't have the spot on the top, but it's creeping. I got the Lester Holt creep. You know what I mean? It's slowly riding back, and I don't know how far, if I'll go as far as Lester has. That guy's got balls. He's wearing his hair like a yarmulke. I may go that way. I don't know if I want to go the yarmulke. Maybe it's kosher to do that now, especially in support of Israel, I guess. I don't know, or anti-support. I don't know. Not making fun of Jewish people, but it looks like a yarmulke. And then I know somebody who has a reverse yarmulke where they just have a hole on top. So foreheads are a big deal to me. Maybe you're a young kid. You don't think about foreheads. It doesn't make a big deal. But what the fuck? The forehead looks unnatural. It looks unnatural. I did the service of looking up some pictures. I mean, this is what... Let me just see if I can find the other one, because the other one's better. Ugh. Sorry. Let me just see if I can get this. What? This one. So this shows him, you know, when he was young Joe. That's when he went into office, that second picture. And then the third picture, the last picture there, the one that if you're on Instagram, you see the main picture. What the fuck are they doing? I have a feeling, I don't know. Look, I'm not anti-Botox. I understand. I just don't get this old man. We know you're not fooling anybody. We know you're sticking stuff in your head. What's it doing? Like, who's going and saying, you know what? The fucking wrinkles bother me. I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden. There must be something in there. They've got it to a shine. A shine. These aren't jokes. This is what I've been thinking for a while. As soon as I started to see it, I'm like, what? Is this another, like, where no one's going to talk about how weird this is? This man's forehead. So if you look at the picture again, I just want to show you the picture. If you look at the picture, I feel like when people go to do Botox, they look at a picture of themselves smiling. And so you can see in the one picture, he's smiling there. He's really young. And so they look at that picture like, all right, I want to look young again. So the plastic surgeon goes in, he takes this young picture, and he goes back, and he keeps working and working. And eventually, the person looks like they look like they're smiling permanently, but their eyes get shut. Like, I don't understand how he's seeing. What the fuck's going on? So this guy's the guy. I'm not voting for this guy, but that forehead seems to be yielding all the power. It seems where all the attention's going. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what they're doing with it, but what the fuck are they doing? Like, this is insane. I mean, I'm going to have body image, body image problems now because, as my forehead starts to expand, and you can see I have some wrinkles. There's no Botox in here. This is all natural. All natural. I guess that looks like a political career killer right there, apparently. You've got at least 6 or 7 fucking wrinkles. How the fuck am I ever going to run for office? What am I going to do? Am I ever going to be able to grow this channel unless I get my fucking sheen up? So I'm trying to do research for the show, and these pictures are coming up. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? This is like the same parable that I talk about with Trump. It's like the emperor with no clothes. Except it's Joe Biden, and I can't look at him. I can't take him seriously right now. I know he's on the right side of a lot of the policy, wrong side of Israel, Palestine. Okay, not giving him a mulligan. As I said before, I believe. By the way, I'm not voting for Joe Biden. I'm voting for his forehead, and I'm going to be clear. It's the winner of the two. It seems to have the most attention. But on to Joe Biden. In a serious note, I don't agree with all of Joe Biden's moves. I don't agree with the way he's handling the Israel-Palestine issue, and I certainly don't agree with us co-signing bombs that are killing children, medical professionals, and humanitarian aid. But I also don't think that a change in administration is going to change that, and if we do that, it's going to create too much turmoil. They'll be able to create cover with scandals, and we won't be able to keep the pressure applied. So for all you young folks who are like, I'm not voting for anybody, vote for Biden's forehead. Ignore the man. Vote for his forehead. It's still him. I know it's going to say his name on the ballot. You're saying, Nate, you're voting for Joe Biden. I guess I just don't have much faith in that person, although the amount of Botox they're pumping, I know they got better stuff in the back to keep them alive. I mean, folks, this is ridiculous. What the fuck? This is an old person trend? Who is he trying to kid? Like, I just need to understand the play. Is it one of those things where there's points involved, and they did the market study and people were really adamant about the forehead? I mean, what the fuck? And then the squinching of the eyes, he's like this all the time. He's got so much, it's dropping down. It's dropping down in his forehead. This is not to make fun of women or pick on anyone that uses Botox. I just don't understand the play. It doesn't make him look better at all. It makes him look foreign. I mean, it makes him look like an alien. And that's the truth. Now, we can talk about his policies. I know this is superficial. Yesterday, I got vulnerable. I told you some deep shit, told you how I felt. Shed a tear or two, okay? We go all over the place in this fucking show. Whatever. Until I get 10,000 people, I can do whatever the fuck I want. But I don't get the play with the Biden forehead thing. I don't understand why they're doing so much maintenance on it. Every time I see him, it's never missing a beat. It's always perfect. And I can't watch him open his mouth because I'm worried his words aren't going to. I'm not kidding. Right hand up to Sky Daddy, the Jedi Knight in charge of it all. I have not watched a speech of his. And I don't need to watch his speeches to understand the policy. I don't know. That's a weird thing anyway. The speech is like, okay, speech. What the fuck are you going to do now? Barack Obama was just fun to listen to. But even then, it's like, all right, what are you doing, dude? What's going on? But so it's okay if he can't talk and he's going to mumble. I know I said, Mitch McConnell freezing on live TV was great for my side, if you will. But certainly I don't wish harm on the man. But, he was still doing his job. He wasn't trying to take down the Republic. You know, you can argue you didn't like his policies and he was rubber stamping everything Trump did. But, I mean, he was still operational. So, the alternative to Biden's forehead, jokes aside, is this convict we got. Trump was convicted today. Everyone's excited about it. You know, I see folks saying, "Hey, thanks for not talking about politics today in my feed." I know you're a Trump supporter and you're upset, and the liberals are dancing and fucking pouring wine and shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys going crazy for? Both of y'all just need to calm down. Nothing fucking exciting happened today. God, the roller coaster you're on is crazy. I know he was convicted. He's going to appeal it. He's going to appeal it, and then he's going to, the election's going to happen. Nothing's going to jump. Trump's not going to end up in jail. There is a two-tiered system in America. I imagine I go into the black neighborhoods and the black families, and they're just like, yeah, well, this means nothing. He's still not gonna go to jail. I mean, we know this is the system wasn't built to house those folks, people that have means. It was to house people that are curmudgeons and fucking with the system and robbing and stealing from other, you know, labor. You know what I mean? Come on, guys. We're really going to do this. We're really going to decide between these two. That's why I say I'm voting for Joe Biden's forehead. Now, it's a clear, easy pick. I've often compared Trump to placenta because placenta is, you know, it's run its course. It's done. I'm not suggesting I know anything about women's reproductive rights, although I know stay out of that business. But this is something, a word that I find interesting, and I know that it's kind of the leftover things that are around surrounding the baby and protecting it when it comes out and all kinds of stuff. So to me, it's kind of something after the fact. I guess they call it afterbirth or whatever the hell you want to call it, but it's kind of gross, and the product that came out is beautiful, but then this stuff comes out, it's nasty. So I've used that word not because I'm sexist, but because it's just discharge. That's what Trump is. He's fucking gross, disgusting, useless. Again, hang out with him on the weekend. He's got an 8-ball. We can go crazy. You know, I'm in my 20s. Let's have fun. We know we're going to be an idiot. Obviously, I'm not going to Epstein Island with the fucking creeper. But I've said before, I don't hate him as a person. He needs to stay the fuck away from the presidency. He's actually worse than placenta. In that placenta won't make any decisions or say anything stupid. Trump will just run his mouth without a brain attached to it and doing. We got to remember what it was like. It was just distraction. If you're a Republican, I guess this is fun for you because you know Trump just runs interference. But we have someone who's convicted of a crime. Now he's gonna get off. I mean, he's gonna appeal it. So that's why I'm saying all the jubilee surrounding this event. Like, come on, guys. You guys are riding the mainstream media roller coaster. It's going to be appealed. Of course, Trump gets his moment. He's getting more and more into martyrdom. If you know what that means, it's looking like he's going to be a hero to his folks. I mean, if he gets thrown in jail, Christ. I mean, that's just not good for, you know, his members will go ape shit. And they'll think it's time for revolution because they're not fucking smart and they're putting their weight behind a moron. Now, everyone that votes for Trump isn't one of these people. I know that. But you're co-signing all these people by doing it. And you know what's going to happen when he gets elected. You know the chaos he runs. You know what he's done to our moral, our global standing. Just come on. He's not qualified in any way. He's malignant. He's a malignant narcissist. So, but I also, while I say all those things, I also have done a rant and a rave about how he's going to be president because there's, you know, these people are fucking pissed off. They think he's his hero and they're activated and they're getting off their asses and they're voting. And the mainstream media has done a good job against Biden. And of course, what I would love for them to talk about is his fucking forehead. Why are they putting so much effort into it? Who's behind it? How much money's going into it? How often is he getting injections? Is this something his doctor recommends for migraines? Or is it aesthetic only? I mean, I'll give him something if it's for migraines, but it's for aesthetics only? What the fuck are you doing, bro? You're not fooling me. You can barely see me. Open your eyes. Loosen up on the brow tox. So again, maybe everyone's like, "Oh, Nate, you're just coming late to the news." I mean, I haven't turned on the TV, but it's just out of control, folks. It's out of fucking control. The man can barely see. I imagine he's not going to be able to talk much after they give him, if they try his cheeks and stuff. I don't understand. Is he trying? Who's he doing it for? Is it that much of a big deal? Jimmy Carter was fine. He looks fine. I mean, even fucking running down there doing Habitat for Humanity, fine. I mean, I get maybe it's because he doesn't have hair on the head, and I'm being uber like aggressive, not knowing what it's like to have that extra patch missing. Mine's creeping back. I've got the devil's peak forming. But am I going to go down the road of Botox? I don't think so. I just don't know. I don't see it happening. Now, if it became permanent, where these things were there all the time, I guess maybe if someone said, Nate, it's just destroying your life. But I don't know. What I mean, it's just weird. So I've decided I'm going to vote for his head. And I know he's attached to it, but I just feel like that's where they're putting the money. That's what they're keeping alive. And I'm not going to vote for the other guy. To all the folks that are excited about Trump flailing today, he's going to appeal. It's just more and more attention. He's going to file appeal in New York State. He has to wait for 30 days within sentencing. So they'll sentence in July, and then he'll appeal it within 30 days. And it'll be another chaotic storm of distractions, but he'll get the attention. He'll suck all the oxygen out of the room, no matter what's happening on the world stage, because his fucking circus keeps going. Now, I'm not one of those folks that thinks that he should be pardoned. I don't. I believe that no one's above the law, but I understand why Republicans are saying this, not only because they want to defend their guy, but because they're tired of the chaos, and it's grueling when it's your guy. And I understand it's got to be embarrassing kind of backing the person that's become notoriously idiotic in every move. But at some point, you got to cut your losses and say, you know what? I made a mistake. We'll welcome you back into the fucking reality world that we've been living in and get you out of fantasy. It's crazy to think that this is our choices. Democrats, I'm not standing on a fucking mountain celebrating your fucking choices either. I claimed, and I've still stand by, Elizabeth Warren would have been fantastic. You want to say blah, blah, bullshit. Fuck that. She was fucking lightning killer, and it would have been ruthless, and she has all her senses, and she's still killing it right now. She's a fucking warrior. Do not underestimate her. I know we didn't rally behind her, probably for the same reasons that I kind of was turned off by her at first, because misogyny and all kinds of bullshit. Just being honest. And I looked at her policies like, damn, don't like her voice, but fuck, and then I got over the voice thing. That was realizing that I was just being, what's her voice have to do with her actions? It's the timbre of her voice that's bothering you, and she's got these killer policies. Get over it. And I did. But I admit that because, I had that initial reaction of like, it wasn't that I wouldn't vote for women. It was just like I didn't like her voice, right? So, and then I started, now I'm like, all right, I love hearing her voice because I know she's going to fucking say something intelligent and bright. Anyway, so that's my word to Democrats while you celebrate these. I don't know what you're celebrating. It's totally embarrassing for everybody involved, including every American, that we're having to go through this. We have a buffoon that we have to watch rake over our system and prove that our system's two-tiered, while at the same time complaining that it's two-tiered and that they're getting all the benefits of the two-tieredness. It's amazingly fucking weird, man. Orwell couldn't even written. I mean, this is like, I know these books aren't books you read, but these are dystopian times that were, idiocracy is not even that far off. We have a president and a party that supports no education. They are on record saying they'd prefer a dictator over what we have. The chaos doesn't stop with these fucking clowns. So, in my opinion, if it's between placenta and Joe Biden's forehead, it's an easy one. I don't know what's in it. I'd love to know. I mean, maybe if the women out there, maybe you look in admiration, maybe it is for the folks that are aging and they look at that and say, hey, Joe Biden's got Botox, I'm going to do it too. I just think that it's making him look crazy and weird and not human and plastic. And they'll probably just be able to roll him right over to his little wax museum when it's all over, because he's going to be so full of Botox that he's just going to fucking roll him over. Just, oh, he's dead. Is he? Is he dead? Sure. You fucking sure? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. Get one of those things that they had from Mother of God cult, whatever, where they hold it up to his body. I don't wish any harm on Joe Biden, and I know I'm making light. Maybe Botox is something that you take seriously. I just think it's ridiculous that the president of the United States getting pumped full of it. It just makes him look ridiculous and vain. I get it. I mean, I guess you're in the public. I mean, is that why you do it? Because I don't know. It's so fucking weird. I can't get over it. I'm weird too, so I'm okay with weird. It's just I don't get the effort. But it begs the question, if they're putting that much effort there, they must know something that I don't. So it gets my vote. Pretty easy peasy. So that's really all I got on that. But I do want to address yesterday's vulnerable moment, if you will. It doesn't bother me. If you go back on some of these older lives, I get pretty emotional when I talk about the same shit. It's not rocket science what triggers me. It's the things that I can't control outside of me. My downtime just was me reflecting and helping you understand that, you know, while you may think that I have a superpower doing this joke, that it just is relatable, because I think everyone has bad days. So that was my point. It was also a cheap, easy way to get content, because it was easy. It was from the heart, and I didn't have to do a whole lot of research to do it, because I am the subject. But I don't have any problem with it. There was a moment where I doubted to keep the post up, but it's not that big a deal. It's just fucking me saying I'm down, and just me saying, hey, this is how I'm struggling with it, and just me saying how things that I struggle with, I deal with them. And is everything that I deal with this shit. I've dealt with it for my entire life. And I have ups and downs, and I figured I would share just how I resolve them. So whether it makes me soft or not, I don't fucking care. I think that's so weird. The couple posts and the message that I got, I know these folks are Andrew Tate following junkies. I know for a fact that they repost and like a bunch of shit that this dude talks about. So if you don't know who Andrew Tate is, he's this guy that's been out there talking about how to pick up women. He's got this bravado about him. I think he's an MMA fighter. You know, he's got mixed martial arts, tough guy, bald, got a little bit of an accent. Don't know where he's from. Good looking dude. And he pitches this, his whole shtick is that, you know, you got to neg women, and which a new word to me, but you essentially make them feel inferior and make them wanting. Essentially behaving like a narcissist is going to get you the women. And so he talks about this in depth and proves that, you know, essentially being bravado and being a man and, you know, is going to bring you the things that you want. And so these folks that live in their basements or don't have girlfriends for whatever reason, maybe they're socially awkward, or maybe they're just struggling with, you know, reaching out to the opposite sex. I'm sure it's a hard time for folks with all the crazy ways that you can connect with people. I'm sure it's crazy. But he instructs these folks to kind of do all the bad behavior, and it comes from the idea that by treating someone like shit, it makes you want. Now we know that there's some truth to some of that, but it's all toxic. Like when that's happening, it means you're doing the wrong thing, or you're chasing the wrong person, or if you're doing that thing to try to manipulate somebody, you've got serious problems where maybe you need to reevaluate, why do you have to do negative things to get positive outcomes? It's just a weird, bizarre, again, one of those things where you play it out to infinity. It doesn't make sense. And so I find that this kind of mentality suggests that anyone that shows any weakness or vulnerability is somehow losing their masculinity. And that's quite the opposite. I fucking paint my nails and I'm as fucking man as whatever. I don't give a shit. The reason I did it was because it fucking looks cool and it's nice. Does that make me less of a man? I don't understand. I don't understand how that takes away my penis or my desire for women. It doesn't. In fact, what I do notice is that the people that comment on my nails are typically my favorite gender, which is women. And I'm not saying that I do it to keep women's attention, but they appreciate it because they go through it. And if you have never sat through a pedicure or a manicure, go fucking get one. You sit in a fucking chair. They massage your legs, get the deluxe. They do all the shit. They rub your feet. And then, and the last time I went, there was two dudes treated I wasn't sure when I left there if I was gay or not, because these men made me feel things that I never felt in my feet. So, and then they did things to my hands that I loved. I don't give a shit if that's, how does that make you feminine because women do it? So then women wear clothes too. So then you could go on it. Women have long hair. Women wear makeup, and look in the 80s rockers. They were all wearing, those were uber men. They were just rough and tumble, masculine, fucking wearing makeup, nail polished men, right? So this idea that there's some kind of rule of how masculinity has, Jerry Seinfeld's in the news talking about how he looked up to, John Wayne and JFK and all these men. And it's so weird because JFK was like a feeble, sickly person, but his image on TV was obviously presidential and everything else. But behind the scenes, he had a lot of health issues and wasn't in great shape, as I understand it. And then John Wayne, it's a weird thing to say. Like Jerry Seinfeld, who has all this money and, is by all measures, one of the great comedians as far as monetarily, and he's funny. Comes out and says that, I kind of miss man's man. And what does that mean? What did those men represent to him? And they were the folks that were put on the screen to portray an image. So he's like, I want these TV men. Those are what masculine men are. That's what he's saying. It's the weirdest fucking thing. To me, I actually loved Dennis Rodman in the NBA. You could probably relate that. I just thought he was eccentric, fucking stud. I also thought Prince was a fucking stud. Two men who people could say, oh, they're androgynous and they did things that were feminine, and Dennis Rodman wore heels and Prince wore heels and makeup and stuff. It's like, so you think Prince wasn't a man? You think Prince wasn't masculine as fuck? You think Prince didn't walk around fucking in the room and everyone's wives fucking say peace out to their husbands? What the fuck? And I don't know if that's masculinity, by the way. I'm not even suggesting that being appealing to the opposite sex is what ensues masculinity. But this idea that belittling the opposite sex is going to get you what you want, you got to take it the opposite way. If you're an incel and you're like getting all huffy puffy because Nate's fucking coming down on Andrew Tate's pussy fucking whack ass, it's so weird. I don't care how tough he is. It's weird as fuck to say, oh, the way you get things that you want is you treat them and you learn about them. You support them. So if you're into, this is going to sound awful, but if you have a preference for women of the Asian persuasion, then join an Asian group and support Asian women. If you're into Latino women and you want to learn Spanish, go live there. So, go support what you like. And I'm not saying that to be kink, like chase your kink. I'm saying like, if you enjoy women or you want to meet women, then lift them up, support them. That's the way to get women to be attracted to you, is to listen to them and support them, not to fucking the people that you get when you treat them like shit are, they may be fun for a moment. And if that's kind of your ride, if you want some excitement and chaos and disorder, sure. So I kind of took it personal when these messages come in. I know what's out there in the zeitgeist. I know what people are saying to these young men about what they're supposed to do to represent or to peacock themselves and put themselves in the limelight, whatever it is. And we can get into a whole rant about the culture of dating apps and how that's kind of fucked everything up, as far as how that goes, and how only certain people kind of end up getting all the matches. And so that might create more people that are angry about not getting what they want, having to compete with these uberly good-looking people that get all the swipe rights. And so then they become angry and they start looking for reasons to justify their anger. And they follow these folks like Andrew Tate, and they get this idea that there's somehow manhood is like this tough guy, fucking John Wayne. Oh, I'm tough. That's fine. You can be tough. I'm fucking badass, dude. I'm tough as fuck. That doesn't mean I'm masculine either. It just means that I can take a punch, I can take a beating, I'm going to punch back. But that doesn't really say anything about whether I'm going to protect somebody or I'm going to be able to listen to somebody. And by the way, that whole masculine, I'm going to protect you shit, that shit was good when we were Neanderthals. But most countries, you don't need to walk around like with a fucking club worried about folks stealing your women, especially if you're fucking good to her. So it's just the idea that you've got to be this tough, uber fucking beefed out motherfucker is laughable. And quite frankly, in my 20s, it just was laughable even more because these fucking guys that are all fucking tough and shit, you know, their girlfriends would prefer someone who would listen to them. So I'll just say that. Just weird. So I take real issue with anyone saying I'm soft. I'm hard as fuck all the time. And I know that's going to fuck up the algorithm. I get it. The algorithm hates me. It's fine. I'm cleaning all this shit up on YouTube, by the way. Hopefully you guys are actually able to watch because I'm doing a lot of heavy shit on my computer right now to get to the point where I can put stuff on YouTube. But anyway, so back to my point. Soft, I'm not. I'm going to continue to be vulnerable if I need to be. If I feel like it's good for me, I'm going to share it. It's not to get hits. There's nothing I've done. The thing that I need to do to grow my channel is up my content, do a lot of things like meta tagging and all kinds of shit to create clips. I'm not worried about being vulnerable being the thing that affects growth. I don't really care about that because that's for me, and the show is for, I have large ideas about it, but I'm doing this because it's good for me and it's a great outlet for me, and I'm hoping to capitalize on something that I enjoy and make it worthwhile. But I'm going to continue to do my thing, bro. I'm going to continue to be soft, hard, whatever you think that is. And I'm going to try to be authentic. I stayed off this platform because I didn't feel like I could be authentic. I was going through some shit. So I'm not going to just come on here and fake it when I have something to say. And this is not a scripted show at this time. So I'm saying things based off of what I believe, and they're from my core. You can say that maybe I'm a hypocrite or maybe I don't live to the fullest of some of the things I say. And that's a valid conversation. That's a fair conversation we can have. But I don't think I'm going to sit on and take it lightly that I'm soft. I think you have to define that. And if you're, we know many ways that we can define soft and hard, but to suggest that somebody who's sharing their feelings, it's actually fucking harder to do that than, and no, I really did struggle with deleting it. I still think about it. It's not because there is a certain kind of brand that I'm trying to build, right? A little bit of spice, a little bit of harshness, a little bit of directness. And so some might argue that that's off brand. I don't fucking care. It's me. And every day I'm not on brand. I don't know who is on brand every day. Everyone fucking just robotically operates perfectly every day. Fucking lies, bullshit. I don't care who you are. You have a bad day. And sometimes things get to the point where you're like, geez, I can't control everything. It's a little frustrating. And you may handle it differently. You may not have the technical know-how or the distribution model that I have to get on a show and bitch about it in public. Okay. But I do. So I did. So soft schmoft. I'll do me. I'll continue to do me. Last but not least, let me just put a bow on everything we talked about tonight. Trump, starting off with the big news of the day, Trump's conviction. Just get off that roller coaster. It's not happening. There will be a pardon before Trump goes to jail. He's not going to go to jail. We don't have the political will. So just get off that. Stop getting excited about it. Yes, I'm raining on your parade. Trump's not going to get convicted of anything. He's not going to jail. It's just going to be a pain in the ass for him, and it's fun to watch. But no. And I'll eat my words. If he ends up in jail, I'll eat my words. If he ends up with any kind of conviction when it's all said and done, after the appeal process is over, I will get on here. I'll do a dance in my underwear. I mean, I don't know what to say. I just know for a fact that this guy is Teflon. He's got too much support. He's got half the country behind him. There's no way. There's no political will. There's no one strong enough in Congress, both sides, to stand up to him. I mean, Democrats will, but they're not strong enough to fucking browbeat Republicans into doing what's best for the country. And in that regard, I think they've done a poor job. Yes, I do blame Democrats for some of this bullshit. I blame them. I blame them for the way they run campaigns. I blame them for not putting Stacey Abrams in charge of the DNC. Like all kinds of shit they could have done fucking better. Earlier, let's just say that. Anyway, Joe Biden's forehead. Yes. Say yes to Joe Biden's forehead. It gets the nod from me. Yeah, I did that. I said that. I came up with that line myself. No chat GPT. Joe Biden's forehead gets the nod from me. And why it matters. That's my headline. And the reason I say that is because that thing is shiny. There's something in it. There's something to it. They're putting a lot of money into it. I got to admit, I'm a little jealous. I don't know as my forehead expands whether I should take the move, whether I should go down the Botox road, or is there coming back from it? Once you go Botox, can you go back? That's a question for another podcast. Last but not least, get off the train. Get off the Trump train. He's not going anywhere. Just hop off it. And finally, soft, hard, whatever. Just be authentically yourself, whether that's a he, she, or they. Who cares? And whether you decide to be a man and be feminine or feminine a man, who's to say what is and what isn't? I don't give a shit. I honestly will tell you, I am not scared of my manhood being taken from me. The only reason I'm dressing is just to make sure that people out there understand that this toxic idea that you need to always be on point, hard ass hustle bullshit, and you can never show weakness is fucking gay. And I say that in gay in the term that was used before. I'm saying in post happy gay, pre-gay as homosexuals. By the way, why did we call them gay? Was it because they were happy? I don't know. We'll have to talk about that in the future. I always give thanks. Just like my parents taught me. You guys are doing great. My reach on Smashing the Party is almost as big as my personal profile, which my personal profile has 5,000 followers. That tells me a lot of people that are on my personal profile don't really give a shit about me. That's fine. But it does tell me that folks that follow Smashing the Party are engaged. My engagement's super high. I also learned something I'm going to share with you, and I think this is interesting because this show is small time. It's not big time. I'm working to it. You've seen it grow. I've actually got to watch videos today that were just crazy. I can't believe there's a couple with me and a wife beater. Okay. I'm doing the fucking rant and a wife beater. I was like, it was COVID time and shit was wild. Shit was wild. I mean, there's some, I'm barely dressed getting on there yelling and screaming. But it's early and you're early on the scene and it's hard to engage early. You got to be the first comment, but you guys do it. And I watched this YouTube, which really was instructional. And it talked about kind of the place I'm at in YouTube, how you just have this channel and you can't get more than 100 people to follow it. And, you have other platforms that are doing well, but YouTube's just tough. And a lot of it has to do with the kind of this group think where people don't want to be the first on something. But a lot of you already have done that on this platform. So I just want to say, everyone that follows me right now, I would argue is an early adopter and kind of giving me a nod before I'm even tight, especially looking at some of the older videos. I mean, I'm going to look at this video in a couple months, maybe in a week and go, what the fuck? But look at some of the old stuff. It's just amazing I had any support. So thank you. I'm definitely looking for sponsors coming soon. So if that's something where you think, hey, you know what? I want to throw a couple bucks and get maybe some advertising. I'm going to start doing that soon. I have enough reach where I can do that. The numbers are looking incredible without any money put down. So once you start throwing money on it, I can just tell you that it's going to be very easy for me to get to 100,000 in a matter of months, probably weeks, as soon as I start putting money down. So it's going to blow up on Facebook. And I presume that when I get the quality of the YouTube videos and re-architect and organize and upscale all the old videos that I have and get that content to where it's tight, you're going to see a bump. And so I just want to say thank you for starting with me now. I don't plan on stopping. There's no reason to. Even days like yesterday where I have a bad day, I get on here and I just fucking say I have a bad day. But we're looking to do some cool things. And when I say we, it's me, Nate, and me. And I just want to say thank you, because as you see, we get better. I get better. I try to improve my content. I've also tried to improve the technical stuff. Sometimes it gets a little crazy. But let's see if we have some comments. Do we have some comments? I didn't see any comments. I thought I saw some comments. But I want to say that it's just nice. And this YouTube video that I watched kind of validated some of the ideas that I had about why I'm kind of stagnant on YouTube. And a lot of it's my fault. You know, I don't have high quality videos up there. I'm just mostly living off my lives. You need to kind of publish things up there to get it right. I don't know why it's popped up. Sorry about that. So there's a lot of things that I can do. And if you look at my YouTube channel and you're like, dude, it's shit. I mean, it's because I've just been streaming there. But I'm excited because things are looking good for having a small channel on YouTube. And I know that once I get to 1,000 and once I break through on YouTube, at that point, I imagine that some of the other platforms will be killing it. So just want to say thank you again. And I know you're along for the ride and you're probably watching me fuck up and do things that are fucking up the algorithm. And sometimes I make silly jokes and not that good, but I'm not giving up. There's no way I'm getting worse. There's no fucking way I'm going to get shittier. So stay tuned. I'll be back next week. I do got an interview this week. I'm not sure who I'm doing this week, and because we got a couple of flakies, but we will get some. And the big ones I talked about are coming. And June should be a pretty wild month for After Hours. So if you're into Nate, but you're not into this political shit, check out After Hours. I got a little bit of stuff going on over there. It's non-political, just me reaching out to the community, talking to people, learning about people, actually people that you know are fucking interesting, not just celebrities. Don't forget that. People around, look out your door, talk to your neighbor, go across the street. Don't do what I do and hide in your office all day. Get to know people. There's some interesting people around here, and I'm going to try to interview them on After Hours. That's all I got. I appreciate everybody. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Make sure you go back. If you really, really want to get your fix, go on YouTube and watch some old videos. I'm going to start throwing some of those into the mix. I'm thinking about doing a throwback Thursday or something to that effect to bring back the old fiery Nate, just so you can see what the fuck I was made of, how raw and shitty I was. But I think it's also interesting and enlightening because I'm still kicking the same vibe. I'm just trying to do it with a little bit more articulation and maybe a little bit more intent. So thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys on Saturday night on After Hours, if not Monday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks for watching. Let's see if I can close out here.